And yet again, another example about how government is doing everything it can to be at the front of the mummy-daddy politics. I showed you yesterday the frightening number that all levels of Australian government have now racked up a credit card bill of, how's this, $938.3 billion. Let that sink in the air. $1 trillion. It'll be $1.2 trillion in a couple of years, $1.3 trillion after that. And that assumes that everything goes well and everything never goes well. It assumes that there are no bushfires this summer, that there is no second GFC, that there is no other economic shockwave that happens. But we are in trouble right now. And while it is unfashionable, and while you can be banned for saying that we are in trouble right now, I get the need to take the virus seriously, but they've been doing it here in the NT for ages. Everywhere's got its social distancing, everything's got its hand sanitising. But the idea that we still have governments in place right now who are telling us up front that they are willing to yet again destroy their economies and increase the credit card bill so they can play mummy-daddy on the virus. The Queensland Health Minister, well, she's almost the Queensland Health Minister, isn't she? The Chief Medical Officer, that Dr Jeanette Young, Sheila, in Queensland, she has said there will be no second wave in Queensland because we have the good contact tracing system. So the border politics is garbage. There is no second Victoria. There is no outbreak in South Australia. Remember, the special Radelaide version of the virus never happened. We can get on top of little things like the Crossroads Hotel. Yet guess what Mummy Palaszczuk was doing today? The pointless puppet Princess Premier, the one who the public oh so loved because she kept them safe. Well, she is saying yet again, she will close the borders, but she won't say how many cases it would cause for her to shut those doors, destroy those businesses and shove up that credit card. Here she is today.
We have said in our roadmap that there will be a hotspots regime, but I can't predict the future. Like, I can't predict that there's going to be another hotel quarantine breach. That's where the danger is at the moment in terms of impact of COVID on Australians. And we would look at what each state or territory does, and then of course we would listen to our health advice.
We need written in paper and agreed at National Cabinet how many cases would trigger lockdowns. Because in Victoria, the legislation that means lockdowns, curfews and the destruction of the second biggest economy in the country, guess what's written into that legislation about when lockdowns trigger again? Nothing. Not one word. Now, when we owe the rest of the world $1 trillion, we have state premiers and territory leaders who have been endorsed by their electorates, who believe that shutting the gate is more important than keeping the economy going. The consequences of an economy not going is that people lose their jobs, and those who are not in the public service, who put everything on the line, can lose everything. There will not be further outbreaks in Australia because we are on top of them. But we need national leadership to define. Western Australia will play its games until its election in March of next year. But everyone else has to agree. We don't close our borders unless there are 100 cases. I don't know what the number is, but work it out. Because Jacinda Ardern, yes to win an election, shut down all of Auckland and 1.6 million people off 4 cases. We saw the doors shut in South Australia over 22 cases. This is a really serious time for Australia. But thank God we have the Prime Minister that we currently do, who has the capacity, I believe, to lead us out of where we currently are.